What's going on, y'all? We gonna get into the hooks and how they are done properly. Now, the hooks are different than the straights because it's more from your hip and waist. So remember the straight where I said put your hand on your hip, pivot to the target, come straight towards the target, right? The hook is pretty much the same thing. When you're in your boxing stance, you want to be on your toes, like always. Now, depending if you're southpaw traditional, again, left foot forward traditional, right foot forward, southpaw. And those are your two stances that you will be in, and then whether you're a Philly shell, other stances will all dictate off of what foot you have forward, and we'll go over stances later on. But with the hooks, the main thing you want to make sure is when you throw it, right? Now, it's easier to show with the back leg. So with your power leg, your back leg, when you're pivoting, just like I told you before, except this time you're not going to stop here. You're going to keep rotating through the target. So when I talked about the straight punches, I said you snap back when you hit the target. That's where the power is. It's not the case with the hooks. With the hooks, you're going straight through it. You're trying to break whatever you're hitting, make it collapse to your fist. These are power punches. So when you do this, you can do the same thing with your hip and your hand, but it's not as needed as you're going to use your lead leg as your stopper. So what I mean by that is, turn to this angle so y'all can see it here. So what I mean is, when you're pivoting into the turn of the hook, the minute this thigh touches that thigh, go no more. That's your stopper. So if you've got more weight on you, it's very easy to feel. The minute your two thighs touch, boom. Don't break this point. If you're skinnier, then I would say if you put your elbow up and you turn, you don't want to go much more than this. So you want to have your fist like center line of your chest. You don't want to rotate much more than that, because when you rotate past this point, now you're getting off balance. You see how my body's starting to angle down? That's what's happening. Now you're tripping over your own legs, and if you counter punch, you hit inside the head, you're on the ground, the canvas. Then you're looking up, and a lot of people looking at you like, oh, he got knocked out, even though it might not have hurt and you were just off balance. So remember that. With the hook, the minute you're in your boxing stance, you're on your toes, you're just rotating, and you feel that thigh touch this thigh, rotate no more. Also with punches, you want to make sure your nose never goes in front of your knee. Again, that gets you off balance. You want to make sure no matter what you're doing, whether you're ducking, you're rotating, your nose never goes in front of your lead knee. So boom, we got that down. With the left hook, all it is pivoting off the front toe, boom. So how I like to look at it, and let me get back a little more. You could do the same thing, but it's kind of going to look like you're more slanted in when you throw it. It's a real quick, short punch, boom, boom. How I do it is, if you look at my lead toe, when it turns, and I have it about the same angle as my back toe, so they're pretty much facing the same direction, that's when I stop my rotation. I don't go past this point, because if you go here, again, you get hit, you're off balance, and you're also giving up the back of your head. In boxing, it is illegal to punch somebody in the back of the head unless they give you their back. Then if you're already in the punch, you can lay them out by hitting them in the back of the head. So again, to demonstrate just here. So what you're going to do with your arms now, and I'll sit down and get closer, and then I'll show it standing up. With your arms, what you're going to do is you're going to be in your stance, right? All you're doing is lifting your elbow, and you're coming around. Your arm will be guarding you the whole time. That's it. Now you see a lot of people winging like Deontay Wilder from a distance. They'll jump and boom, and it looks powerful. And yes, it can be more powerful because you're getting more torque and more rotation on it. But the issue is you're open for a lot longer. So when you throw in wide hooks, you need to make sure that they're going to hit, because if somebody throws a straight punch, you're going to get your whole face ate up with the counter punch. Thus, when you're in range in the pocket, boom, boom versus this. So watch again, boom versus, it's a faster boom, slip. And then you can have your guard back quicker versus here, and then you have to come back. Plus, as you see when I pull my arm back, I'm not in position to block the side of my face because I have to get here. Same thing with the front, boom, boom, boom. It should almost feel like you're throwing an elbow. And if you look, my face is guarded the entire time. So my punches with correct form are actually blocking you from hitting my face with the counter. That's all it is. Boom, boom. So, with that being said, back up so you can see the feet. Remember, this is the most important part. This is where all the power comes from. When you see people who can't throw hard punches, it's because they're doing this with their arms. They're barely moving their body or they're sitting down. You always hear people say plant your feet, right? Plant your feet, then throw a punch. That's not really true. You want to be on your toes because it's the speed that causes the most impact. A good example of that is Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is renowned for his power, his power, his power. But nobody talks about how fast he was. Mike Tyson moved like a welterweight and heavyweight. And that's where a lot of his power came from, him getting real close in and then throwing them fast punches. So again, you want to be on your toes. You don't want to be flat-footed because it takes time to come up. You're slowing down the punch, whereas you're already here. You're already loaded. So when I say you should be planted, that just means both feet here on the ground to be able to throw, not actually heels down and flat-footed. You want to be up. Then, if you're here and you see somebody, you're coming with the hook, right? But you see a counter that's going to hit you, you can disengage by just pushing off your toe. If your feet are flat and I'm coming here, I can't disengage because I have to raise up and then come back. So you got to keep that in mind. Planted in boxing should be here on your tippy toes. Then again, it's just boom. You see how short of a motion that is? It's just for speed. Speed, 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 speed. That's it. And that's the hook. Left, right hook. If you were southpaw, it would just be here. Same thing. Here, here. So, let me know what y'all think. Next week, the uppercut.